I think it's important for people to learn the history. They need to know what has happened since 1492. They need to understand that the original people of North America, we have been here since the beginning of time. The average Canadian needs to know and to learn and to educate themselves about what the Indian Act has done to First Nations people. They need to know about the treaties. They need to know about the white paper. They need to know about residential school and how that became to be and who were those institutions that continue to support that. They need to know that the government, the federal government, was supposed to have in trust our land base with them, and they sold it on us. And that we were not wards of the state, that we were here since the beginning of time, but we couldn't fight the governments when they put our land, when they start selling our lands, because we weren't even allowed to leave our communities. And it was the whole system, the federal system, is the ones that directed the institutions like education, health, justice system. All of those systems is directed by the federal government. And they continue to treat us like we're wards of state. And that needs to change. And that we did not give up our right. That we were not a nation that was defeated. Never were we defeated. But we were tricked in our land being taken away from us. And we were tricked by our families being taken to residential school, but day schools were just as bad. Kids still got mentally, emotionally, physically, sexually, and spiritually abused and told that we were not smart enough and not good enough. So all of those kinds of things, those religious institutions need to take responsibility for what they've done to my people. And they still aren't taking responsibility. So it took them a lot of funds to be able to hire those teachers who weren't teachers. And people were paid good money to work at residential school. And they were even, some of those workers told the government people that there was kids that were being hurt, or kids that were died, and where they were buried, and the system still didn't do anything about it. So the message was that still to this day, for the missing and murdered Aboriginal people across Canada, the message still is that we are not important, that we're invisible. That needs to change. But I truly believe with the Truth and Reconciliation call to action, that's a starting place. But they need to hear from us, because we have circular thinking and we know how to feed our heart, mind, body, and spirit. Western's way of thinking is lateral. There's a beginning and an end. There is no room in there. But they need to be able to know their history, whether it's health, whether it's the justice system, but the educational system plays a huge role in what they're not teaching about First Nations people, the original people, the Anishinaabe people, the Haudenosaunee people, the Lenape people, even just within this territory. And they need to create that space and that place for us to be able to come in and to teach. And let us do what it is that we know how to do, because the truth and the reality is the education system has definitely have not respected us at any level. And we have very brilliant, wonderful, awesome knowledge keepers who have both Western society's education, but cultural education and awareness. And it can be put in a way where all people can learn, because we do have our maths, we have our sociology, we have our psychology, we have our sciences, we have our own way of educating and communicating and empowering people. Our goal is not to go take away people's homes and their land, but there's enough land in Canada, then give us land base back. Even when I think about the educational institutions, the religious institutions, the health institutions, the justice system, then give us land wherever you are and let us create our own programs so we can empower the people.